beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. I hope you're having a loving kind of day. I hope you're putting out a lot of love and kindness into the world, and that is coming back into your life tenfold, because you know the rules, beautiful creatures. The energy you put out into the universe comes back into your life in vast abundance. So please be careful with your energy exchange. It's the law of attraction. We don't make the laws, but we sure do live by them. And when the universe is giving you signs and telling you things and you choose not to listen, she's going to throw you some shade and stop you dead in your tracks. And that's what happened to me 10 days ago. I was spreading myself too thin. I had too many projects going. I wasn't focusing where I should have been focusing on certain things. So my phone broke. Yes, my phone broke. Slipped right out of my hand on the driveway, fell on the macadam, screen down, shattered the screen. And my phone, as everybody knows, not only does my business, it does my social media, it does my personal life. So my phone is my everything. And for 2 weeks, I had been getting signs. And I'd be like, just let me finish this. I promise I'll take care of myself. I'll relax. I'll do this. I'll do that. And instead of coming up with the health problem, instead of coming up with complete exhaustion, the universe decided that she was going to take away my communication device. And therefore, there was a huge social media diet and a huge abrupt stop in my communication with family and friends. And I just kind of was like, I was off grid. Not only did I live OG, but I was OG. I was offline for a while. And it served me very well. And it helped me focus and see where my shortcomings were and where I was potentially going to run into a huge disaster because I was not focused enough on life itself. Before we get into the topic of the full moon that's coming up August 1st, that's Tuesday. It's a full sturgeon moon, it's a super moon, it's a blue moon, and it's an Aquarius. We'll get to that. If you are in the heat wave belt, we are having a mini heat wave up here. We're still in the 80s and 90s. It's very humid, but we're still in the 80s and 90s. This is how it happens up near Canada on the Canadian border. We don't get what you guys are getting in the hundreds of degrees. We don't get that. This is abnormal for this time of year for us. We've had abnormal for the last 35, 45 days. That's just the way it is. I thought I heard somebody pull in my yard. Nope, mistake. It happens. I can see my front yard from my backyard. Anyways, words of wisdom, folklore, old wives' tale, granny magic, whatever you want to call it, the old way. If you are in the heat wave belt, here's a little bit of words of wisdom for you. Do not consume cold products. Why? When I was a kid growing up, my grandmothers cut off all cold products in the heat waves in Rhode Island, even though we had a nice coastal breeze. It never got super, super hot, but it got like it is now down there, way back in the 70s and 80s. Do not consume ice cold products, because what happens is the air temperature is in the high digits and you are consuming the cold items, and that is chilling off your body core. So that signals to your body to start the heater up, and like mini hypothermia, start the heater up and start warming the chill. So you're heating up, the air temperature is heating up, and it is a disaster for the heat illnesses. So that's when you will start experiencing the lightheadedness, the everything coming up and out, and you got to lay down, got to pass out, all that stuff. So stick to room temperature items and warm tea. My grandmothers always gave us warm tea on the super hot days because it does something to balance out the interior. Science, it's science. It's not just old wives' tales. It is science. So please be careful in this heat. Please stay indoors. Please stay in air conditioning if you can. Run those fans. We're here on the homestead. We're OG, so we don't have fans. We don't have air conditioners. We use nature's air conditioning. Out in the outback, we don't get nature's air conditioning as good as we get it in the front yard. We have a field across the street that the breeze just comes off of. And in the outback, we got the house, we got the barn, and it kind of blocks up the breeze a little bit more than sitting out front in the wind tunnel. So that's where we intend to go after this video is made. Full moon in Aquarius, August 1st, Tuesday. It is a full moon. It is a super moon. It is the sturgeon moon, and it is an Aquarius. Aquarians are weird. If you have an Aquarian in your life, they are weird people. Yes, they are. It's crazy. I can say this because I'm an Aquarian. We are unique. Our energy is unique. No two Aquarians give off the same energy. We don't give off the same vibration. If you are in a relationship, when I blanket relationship with anything, any communication you have with people in your life is a relationship. So if you have Aquarians in your life and you have more than one, you will note that they are all vastly different. In our family, February was the month to be born in, and 90% of us are Aquarians, and not one of us give off the same vibe. All the cousins, not one of us girls give off the same vibe, not one of the boys, nobody gives off the same vibe. I was lucky enough, I was born just hours away from being a Pisces. Yes, I was. So I'm on the cusp. So while I have a lot of Aquarian traits, I do have some very emotional Pisces traits. And when you put that together, it's an explosion. It's a unique experience. I am a unique experience. Aquarians like to deal with the collective. We want everybody happy, healthy. We want the world at peace. We want love. We want kindness. We want bounty and abundance for everybody. We're not people that kind of pull up the ladder and deal with yourself. We are also very logical people. We understand that for every action, there is a reaction. And that's where the logic comes in. And we are also kind of I told you so people. I told you, if you do that, this is going to happen. And it did. There you go. That's just how we are. We are great. Aquarians are great with charities. We are great in the Peace Corps, all that collective stuff. We are also on the opposite side of it. Wait for it. We are great activists because we buck authority. We question authority. We want to know the why to everything. Why are you telling me to do this? We also don't care about people's opinions so much. We march to the beat of our own drummer. We are often accused of being very cold. There's been many a tete-a-tete. We've been together 41 years. There have been many a tete-a-tete in our lifetime, and one of the things he says is, I expect an emotional reaction from you, and you're just like, whatever, and that's it. And there now that tempering that, because I was born on the cusp of Pisces, there are times where he does not expect an emotional reaction from me, and doesn't know what to do with it. So it can go either way. But generally, Aquarians do not wear their hearts on their sleeve. Everything is internal. We feel very deeply, but we just don't throw it up and throw it out there. We try not to throw our drama out there. We're very into ourselves, not into ourselves in a bad way, but we keep everything to ourselves. We understand that y'all don't need our bullshit in the world, and we try to, as much as humanly possible, keep it out of the sphere of the world. And like I always say, my misery don't like your company, and I mean that 110% when I say that. I post on social media when I'm having a bad day. I post to everybody, my misery don't want your company today, and that signals everybody that knows me, stay the hell away from me for the day, and things will blow over and be fine, and I'll be able to correct my situation. So that's what we're dealing with the Aquarian moon. We are also being asked under this moon to embrace our uniqueness. Aquarians, like I said, we're super unique. You will not meet two Aquarians with the same energy. If you have an Aquarian in your life and then you lose that Aquarian in your life, you will forever look for that in every face you see. Yes, you will. And you will never find it, because that energy is completely unique to that one person. So you can sample all the people on the planet. You can sample all the other Aquarians, but you're not going to find the thing that you're looking for. And that's just the way it works. I have a bit of a cheat sheet here because, COVID brain and all. This moon is going to ask you to show love to the parts of you that challenge the status quo. That's where the activism comes out. So it's okay if you do something going against the grain under this moon, as long as you can put your head on your pillow and sleep at night, as long as you know you did your best, then that is good. That's good enough. People's opinions do not matter. Beautiful creatures. People think all the time, they're like, I'm at point A and I want to get to point B, and they say, well, what you're doing ain't going to get you there. And I say, yes, it is. And no, it's too chaotic what you're doing. You should do it this way. Always opinions. And I don't pay attention to people's opinions because they don't matter to me, because I know how I operate. So I go over the river through the woods, and get to point B. And they're just like in awe when it all works out, because it just looks like a chaotic mess. And I get to where I'm going. And people often love to give me unsolicited advice on how I should be living my life or how I shouldn't be living my life. And I just don't care. Just like when people ask me for my opinion, I always preface it with, this is my opinion. I will give it to you, but you can either take it or leave it. I don't care. I'm not going to be mad. But this is how I think that the situation should be handled or whatever. And I literally, when they do something completely different, I'm like, hey, I don't care. That's your business. Actions have consequences. For every action, there's a reaction. Whatever action you choose is going to elicit a specific reaction, and that's what you did. And it's not of my concern because it does not affect my life. The only thing that I'm concerned with as an Aquarian is what directly affects my life. So the choices I make. So I don't care about challenging the status quo. I don't care about being unique. I don't care about being weird. I don't care about flying my freak flag in public. I just don't care. It's me that has to have the good night's sleep, and whatever I do does not stop anybody but me from having a good night's sleep. Innovative thoughts. You need to keep your thoughts innovative. You will have them under this moon. You need to act accordingly with those. You need to embrace your desire to influence people. Everybody has that little inner desire. And under the Aquarius moon, Aquarians just want to be the glue that pulls everything together, and generally they do. And express yourself openly under this moon. Quit overthinking your shit. Okay? Just quit overthinking your shit, because it does you no good. It does the people around you no good. What's done is done. This is the Aquarian part of it. What's done is done. You gotta move on. What you said, you said. What you did. The mistake you made, you made. Sometimes these mistakes, these things you say, these things you do, move people out of your life. At that point, you got to decide whether you want those people back in your life, or maybe they have been removed from your life for a reason. Maybe the shit that flew out of your mouth that offended somebody at that juncture was meant to do that. Because let me tell you, Aquarians do things with a lot of thought. We are not thoughtless, careless people. We are free-spirited. There's a big difference between being free-spirited and being careless. We do think about all the consequences to all the actions that we take. And that's kind of what this moon is about. You're going to be presented with things. You're going to have to make decisions, but you're going to also have to understand that as crazy as the world around you gets, as chaotic as things seem, there is an order to it. It's just Aquarian energy. There is, and if you're not an Aquarian and you don't have an Aquarian in your life, it's really going to seem pretty intense. And I wish you luck. But I'm just kidding. It's going to seem intense, and there's going to be a lot of people that do the why me thing. There's also going to be other people that suddenly get the epiphany, and the things that you've been beating yourself up about will just suddenly vanish, because that's just how it is. So with that said, beautiful creatures of the world, we are going into the full moon, the full sturgeon moon energy on August 1st, Tuesday. So brace yourself. Remember, 3 days before the energy starts to influence our lives, during the event, and then 3 days after, there's a very heavy influence on our lives. So you got about a week's window of, maybe things are confusing you. Maybe things seem a little too chaotic for you. That will tamper down as we all settle into the energy. And a lot of you out there, Virgos and Capricorns, and I do believe it's Geminis, certain things you've been worrying about, you will understand that the letting go is what you should have done in the beginning, and it will fix a lot of different things. So with that said, beautiful creatures of the world, I bid you carpe diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow. Ciao.